Isaiah 31. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are man and not God, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down. They all shall fail together. For thus saith the Lord spoken unto me, like as a lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. As birds fly, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defend it also, he will deliver it, and pass it over, he will preserve it. Turn ye unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. For in that day every man shall cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made unto you for a sin. Then shall the Syrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, and the sword not of a mean man, shall devour him, but he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be discomfited, and he shall pass over to his stronghold for fear, and his princes shall be afraid of the ensigns of the Lord, whose fire is in Zion and his furnace in Jerusalem. So in chapter 31, it says, what would be the result of those who did not trust in God? The one who looked for help from other places rather than from God, and the one who helps him perish together. And what would the Lord be like for those who trust in him? He would be like a lion who roars or stands over his prey. No one will run him off. Chapter 32 of Isaiah. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak violently, and his heart will work iniquity, practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speakers rise. But the liberal devises liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless woman, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city. because the palaces shall be destroyed. The multitude of the cities shall be left, the forts and towers shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild asses, a pasture of flocks, until the Spirit be poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness be a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be counted for forest. Then judgment shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness remain in the fruitful field. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness quietness, and the sureness forever. And my people shall dwell in a peaceful habitation, and sure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. When it shall hail coming down on the forest, and the city shall be low in a low place. Blessed are ye that sow beside all waters, that send forth thither the feet of the ox and the ass. So in chapter 33, who are the people who will be afraid in Zion? Excuse me, chapter 32. What will be the way of the people when God rules their lives? There will be righteousness and understanding of God among the people. How will the people perceive the foolish and the evil person? No one will be condemned or excused. They will be seen for what they are. And when will the people stop mourning and become a fruitful forest? When God pours His Spirit on them from on high. Verse 15. Even during terrible times, how can God's people dwell? They can dwell peacefully and secure, trusting in God. Go to Isaiah 33. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. O Lord, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. At the noise of the tumult, the people fled. At the lifting up thyself, the nations were scattered. And your spoil shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar. As the running to and fro of locust shall he run upon them. The Lord is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Behold, their valiant ones shall cry without. The ambassadors of peace shall weep bitterly. The highways lie waste, the wayfarer and man ceaseth. He hath broken the covenant. He has despised the city, he regardeth no man. The earth mourneth and languish, Lebanon is ashamed, and hewn down. Sharon is like a wilderness, and Bashan and Carmel shake off their fruits. Now will I rise, saith the Lord, now will I be exalted, now will I lift myself. Ye shall conceive chaff, ye shall break forth stubble, your breath as fire shall devour you. And the people shall be as the burnings of lime, as thorns cut up, shall they be burned in the fire. Hear ye that are far off what I have done, and ye that are near acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness hath surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with the everlasting burning? He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppression, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him, his water shall be sure. Thine eyes shall see the king in his beauty. They shall behold the land that is very far off. Thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe? Where is the receiver? Where is he that counteth the tower? Thou shalt not see a fierce people, a people of a deeper speech, that thou canst perceive of a stammering tongue that thou canst not understand. Look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities. Thine eye shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation, a tabernacle that shall not be taken down. Not one of the stakes thereof shall ever be removed. Neither shall any of the cords thereof be broken. But their glorious Lord will be unto us a place of broad rivers. Excuse me, I got some hair in my mouth. And streams wherein shall go no galley with oars, neither shall gallant ships pass thereby. For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king, he will save us. Thy tacklings are loosed, they could not well strengthen their masts, they could not spread the sail. Then is the prey of a great spoil divided, the lame take the prey. And the inhabitant shall not say, I am sick. The people that dwell therein shall be forgiven their iniquities. So in chapter 33, who are the people who will be afraid in Zion? The sinners and the hypocrites. Who in Zion will not be afraid of the devouring fire? Those who walk upright, refuse bribes, and hate bloodshed. What will the righteous ones observe? What will they be able to remember? And what will they not see? The king in the place of forever. They will remember all the evil done by the others, and they will not see the evil person or any incomprehensible actions of ungodliness. Moving on to Isaiah 34. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He has utterly destroyed them, he has delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth away off from the vine, and as the fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Edomia, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, it is made fat with fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. So the Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land therefore shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke therefore thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles and fortresses thereof, and it shall be in the habitation of dragons in the court of owls, in the court of poor owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satrap shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered him. He hath cast the lot for them in his hand, hath divided it unto them by line, they shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So in chapter 34 we see, how will the host of heaven be dissolved and the heavens rolled up? Well, there will be no separation between heaven and earth. The host of heaven will dwell with the people saved on earth. And who does Edom represent? Edom is all the people who have lived contrary to God's will. Who do the oxen and the bulls represent? They represent all the different people dwelling together with no more worry of evil or harm. Who does the rest of the... Wait a minute. Excuse me just 1 minute. Who do the oxen and the bulls represent? They represent those great and small that are... Excuse me, I'm sorry. Who does the rest of the animals represent in verses 11 through 15? They represent all the different people dwelling together with no more worry of evil or harm. And what is the book that was searched? The book of life of those saved. Chapter 35. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as a rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, even God with a recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as an heart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out in streams in the desert, and the parched ground shall become a pool. And in the thirsty land springs of water, and in the habitation of dragons where each lake shall be grass with reeds and rushes. And in the highway shall be there and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those the wayfaring men. The fool shall not err therein. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there, and the ransomed one of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with psalms and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. So in chapter 35, how will the land of earth be different at the end of time? It will blossom and produce abundantly on its own. What will happen to the blind, the deaf, and the lame? They will see, hear, and walk. What type of people will not be in the new land, the highway of holiness? No unclean shall dwell there. Why will the fool or simple-minded person not go astray? There will be no evil to tempt him or lead him astray. Excuse me 1 second. Let me wet my lips a little bit. All right, let's go to Isaiah 36. Now it came to pass in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came up against all the defense cities of Judah and took them. And the king of Assyria sent Rabshakeh from Lachish to Jerusalem unto King Hezekiah with a great army. And he stood by the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field. Then came forth unto him Eliakim, Hilkiah's son, which was over the house, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah, Asaph's son, the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Say ye now to Hezekiah, Thus saith the great king, king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trust? I say, sayest thou, I have counsel and strength for war. Now on whom dost thou trust? What? That thou rebellest against me. Though thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So it is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. But if thou say to me, We trust in the Lord our God, is it not he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, and said to Judah and to Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar. Now therefore give pledges, I pray thee, to my master the king of Assyria, and I will give thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? And am I now come up without the Lord against this land to destroy it? The Lord said unto me, Go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim and Shebna and Joab unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, unto thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and speak not to us in the Jews' language, in the ears of the people that are on the walls. But Rabshakeh said, Hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Has he not sent me to the men that sit upon the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own, piss with you? This is King James Version. Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and said, Hear ye the words of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus said the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver you. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver us. This city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus says the king of Assyria, Make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and eat ye every one of his vine, and every one of his fig trees, and drink ye every one of the waters of his own cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards. Beware lest Hezekiah persuade you, saying, The Lord will deliver us. Has any of the gods of the nations delivered his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Sepharvaim and have they delivered Samaria out of my hand? Who are they among all the gods of these lands? they have delivered their land out of my hand. That the Lord shall deliver Jerusalem out of my hand. But they held their peace and answered him not a word. For the king's commandment was saying, answer him not. Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, that was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph, the recorder, to Hezekiah where their clothes were in, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. So we see in chapter 36, what did the leader of the Syrian army accuse Hezekiah of doing against God? He said Hezekiah had turned the people away from God. And who did the commander of the Syrian army say had sent him? He said God had sent him against Judah. And how could you tell that this army leader did not believe in any gods? He said that the gods of the other nations could not stand against him, and neither would the Lord, in verses 18 through 20. I got a bad quote, I'm sorry. We'll move on to chapter 37 of Isaiah. And it came to pass when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his cloak and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the others of the priests, covered with sackcloth, unto Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz. And they said unto him, thus saith Hezekiah, this day is a day of trouble and of rebuke and of blasphemy, for the children are come to the birth, and there is no strength to bring forth. It may be the Lord thy God will hear the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria, his master, has sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that is left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah. And Isaiah said unto them, thus shall ye say unto your master, thus saith the Lord, be not afraid of the words that thou hast heard, wherewith the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish, and he heard say concerning Turkah, king of Ethiopia, he has come forward to make war with thee. And when he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, let not thy God, in whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be given unto the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands by destroying them. Utterly, and shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them, which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and these names in Rizab, and the children of Eden, which were in Telassar? Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Harpad, and the king of the city of Sepharim, and Hannah, and Abiel? And Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, thou dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Incline thine ear, O Lord, and hear. Open thine eyes, O Lord, and see and hear all the words of Sennacherib, which hast sent to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste all the nations and their countries, and they have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of man's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Now therefore, O Lord our God, save us from his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord, even thou only. Then Isaiah the son of Amoz sent unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus said the Lord God of Israel, whereas thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, this is the word which the Lord has spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high? Even against the Holy One of Israel. By thy servants hast thou reproached the Lord, and hast said, By the multitude of my chariots am I come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of the Lebanon, and I will cut down the tall cedars thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the height of his border, and the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk water, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up the rivers, all the rivers of the besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldst be to lay waste, to fence cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy lot, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me, because thy rage against me, and thy tumult is come up into mine ear. Therefore will I put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle and my lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. This shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such as groweth of itself, and the second year that which springeth of the same, and in the third year sow ye, and reap and plant vineyards, and eat the fruit thereof. And the remnant that is escaping of the house of Judah shall begin to take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant. And they that escape out of Mount Zion, the seal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus said the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, says the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adrammelech and Sharesh, his son, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Ashurban, his son, reigned in his stead. So in chapter 37, what did God tell Hezekiah he would do to the army leader of Assyria? He would send a rumor and have him return to his own land where he would die by the sword. According to God, what was the downfall of Assyria? They became prideful. They felt their success was by their own power in verse 24. What would be the sign to Hezekiah that God was with them? The people of Judah would eat of the land, whatever it produced on its own for the next 3 years. How many Assyrians were killed by an angel of the Lord? 185, 100,000, something like that. Okay, moving on. Chapter 38. In those days was Hezekiah sickened to death. And Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz, came unto him and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die, and not live. Then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord, and said, Remember me now, O Lord, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. Then came the word of the Lord to Isaiah, saying, Go and say to Hezekiah, Thus says the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city. And there shall be a sign unto thee from the Lord, that the Lord will do this thing that he has spoken. Behold, I will bring again the shadow of the degrees which is gone down in the sun down of Ahaz, 10 degrees backwards, so the sun returned 10 degrees back, by which degrees it was gone down. The writing of Hezekiah, king of Judah, when he had been sick and was recovered of his sickness. I said, in the cutting off of my days, I shall go to the gates of the grave. I am deprived of the residue of my life. I said, I shall not see the Lord, even the Lord, in the land of the living. I shall behold man no more with the inhabitants of the world. Mine age is departed and is removed from me as a shepherd's tent. I have cut off like a weaver my life. He will cut me off with pining, sickness, day, even tonight wilt thou make an end to me. I reckon till morning that as a lion, so will he break all my bones from day, even tonight wilt thou make an end of me, like a crane or a swallow. So did I chatter, I did mourn as a dove. My eyes fell with looking. My eyes fell with looking upward. O Lord, I am oppressed. Undertake for me. What shall I say? He has both spoken unto me, and himself has done it. I shall go softly all my years in the bitterness of my soul. O Lord, by these things men live, and in all these things is the life of thine spirit. So wilt thou recover me and make me to live. Behold, for peace I had great bitterness, but thou hast in love to my soul delivered it from the pit of corruption. For thou hast cast all my sins behind my back. For the grave cannot praise thee, death cannot celebrate thee. They that go down into the pit cannot hope for thy truth to live in the living. He shall praise thee as I do this day. The Father to the children shall make known thy truth. The Lord was ready to save me. Therefore we will sing my songs to the stringed instruments all the days of our life in the house of the Lord. For Isaiah had said, let them take a lump of figs and lay it for a plaster upon the boil, and he shall recover. Hezekiah also had said, what is the sign that I shall go up to the house of the Lord? So in chapter 38, how many years did God add to Hezekiah's life? 15 years. And what was the sign given to Hezekiah that he would live? The shadow on the sundial would go backwards 10 degrees. Chapter 39. At that time, Merodach-Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and presents to Hezekiah, for he had heard that he had been sick and was recovered. And Hezekiah was glad of them and showed them the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ornament and all the house of his armor and all that was found in his treasure. There was nothing in his house nor in all his dominion that Hezekiah showed them not. Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, what said these men, and from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, they are come from a far country unto me, even from Babylon. Then said he, what have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, all that is in mine house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures have I not shown them, that I have not shown them. Then said Isaiah to Hezekiah, hear the word of the Lord of hosts. Behold, the days come, that all that is in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store until this day, shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, says the Lord. And of thy son shall have issued from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away. And they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Then said Hezekiah to Isaiah, good is the word of the Lord, which thou hast spoken. He said, moreover, for there shall be peace and truth in my days. So in chapter 39, who did Hezekiah entertain at his house and show his treasures to? Some man from Babylon. And what did God reveal to Hezekiah that Babylon would do? Babylon would one day carry away all his treasures he had showed him. So that completes tonight's reading, and that completes the first part of Isaiah, which is the 39 books, 39 chapters that are filled with judgments and immoral and adulterous men. And the final 27 chapters that we will be reading, it's going to be a message of hope. Thank you. God bless you. And by the way, I'm not in my apartment. I'm on the second floor. We live on the second floor. I'm in the lobby part, and you may have heard some people going in and out of the elevator, people talking, but that's fine. Thank you. God bless you.